Welcome to Rebel Chaser. My name is Gail, and I have a clip for you from Judge LaFlamme in Michigan. And these two hate each other. And it sounds like they actually got married twice, or separated and married again. I don't know. That's what it sounded like. But you know it's bad when the judge ends it with, "So that was fun." Oh my goodness. I'll let you guys watch.
Okay, your case is scheduled for trial today. In a divorce that doesn't involve children, the contested matters typically are property issues. So let me ask just generally before I start taking proofs, do either of you own any real estate?
No.
No.
I think there was an issue over a motorcycle when you were here last.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is the issue with the motorcycle? Let me ask Ms. Ramey first. First of all, what kind of a motorcycle is it?
It is a Suzuki Boulevard C50. And
All right. And you had some kind of an agreement with him about he was going to turn that over to you?
he actually, in fact, was trying to get me to pay rent, and he was supposed to pay it. We were in a motorcycle wreck and we got a settlement from that. And he was supposed to pay it, but he didn't. So he wanted me to pay the rent. Then he said he'd sign over the motorcycle to me. Well, then I said no, because that money was supposed to sustain me for a minute. And then he said, well, how about you give me $350 and I'll give you the title. And I said, I will give you $300. He went and got the title, brought it in. It was not signed. I said, you didn't sign it. He signed it. I said, you didn't print your name. You printed it. He said, you can do it. I said, no, you need to do that. And then he did that. And I gave him the $300. And he said, you weren't kidding, were you? And we were together.
What happened to the title? Do you still have it?
I gave that motorcycle to my mother because when he threw me out, I had nowhere to go and I had nothing. So for them helping me out, I told her that she could have the motorcycle for helping me out because her husband and she don't drive, but her husband does ride. So
you gave Mr. Ramey $300. He signed over the motorcycle. You gave the motorcycle to your mother.
Yes.
And you think that should be the end of the conversation about the motorcycle?
Well, yes, because we made an agreement. I gave him the money. He gave me a signed title.
All right.
We were still married couple.
Okay, fine. Mr. Ramey, what's your issue with the motorcycle?
Okay, here's my issue. She's completely lying right now. Let me just tell you this. Since we've lived together for a total of 1.5 years. I bought her a car and 2 bikes of her own. We got into an accident and we got a settlement. I gave her half of the settlement in cash. So here you go. I said, well, I'm going to, fix my bike and sell it and get a better bike, was my plan. And so very simply put, is basically what happened was she was supposed to give me $1,500 for the bike. That's half of what I paid for it, and all it needed was a fender. And I said, okay, so I'll do that. And then so she gave me $250 and then blew me off. And so she said, I'll give you the money as soon as we get home that night. We ended up getting a fight. She took the title and left. She paid $250 down on that bike. And then I said, well, if you're not going to, keep your end of the bargain, can you at least pay the rent? And then she sat there and jacked around on that until I just went and paid it. I pay every bill in the house. She does not work at all. I buy everything there is. When she moved in, she moved in with a bag of clothes.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to have to take testimony, but so what is your understanding, and what is it you want me to do about the motorcycle, if anything?
Well, I'm not giving my motorcycle away if she didn't pay for it. She had $10,000 cash. She wouldn't give up
I got
another
you.
penny of it. What was
you
I going
did
to do?
sign, hold on. You did sign over the motorcycle, but you believe she still owes you the balance of the $1,500, $1,250.
Trusted her. Yeah, I trusted her, and she never
Okay,
paid
all
me. She
right,
picked
all
me
right,
off with a smile.
all right. I was just trying to understand the nature of that dispute.
And one more
So
thing,
what I'm
then she
gonna,
takes it and puts it in her mom's name. Think about it. Her mom is like 70-something years old. She's just stealing my bike. That's why it's in her mom's name. Simple. It doesn't
right,
take
thank
much
you.
to figure that out.
All right, hold on. So
Okay.
just a second, you'll both get a chance to say whatever it is you want to say. I was just probing to see what the nature of the dispute is. I see now that the only way this is going to be resolved is by me taking testimony. You'll be asked to repeat some of the things you've already told me, but we're going to do this in order. So because Ms. Ramey is the plaintiff, I will hear from her first. I will get testimony from her under oath. When she's done testifying, Mr. Ramey, if there are any questions you would like me to ask her, you'll have a chance to do that. And then once any of your questions are answered, then I'll put you under oath and you can tell me your story. And then I have to decide, as you know, who I'm going to believe, where's the truth in all of this, and what's the ultimate resolution. Is there anything else in dispute besides this motorcycle?
I have some bills that
Got my
he
list, too.
did not pay after I left, that he ran
So
off
bills,
and
okay.
they were
we
in
got-
my name. So
So
and also
the property issue is the bike. We've got some bills that are, who's going to be responsible for them? What else?
well, the bills are, and also I filed my 2020 tax return, and there was a federal offset from from the business that was, the total amount was $519.61. My refund amount was initially $787, excuse me, and I only got $267. So John's portion of the $519.61 would be $259.80.
All right. So we got a tax issue. All right. I'm going to just start taking testimony now. So, Mr. Ramey,
Well, I
if you-
got a
if you
couple
would
more
be patient-
things that I want to add in for money. I have them right here. You told me to be prepared and
Okay.
write them down and tell you next time.
Okay, but it's not your turn. I'm going to take
Oh,
from
okay.
her
I'm
first.
sorry. I'm sorry.
And then I'll ask from you. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Ms. Ramey, I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand, please. You do swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I did.
Okay, you can put your hand down now. I need you to state your full name for the record.
Christine Marie Remy.
Remy, sorry, I've been pronouncing it wrong.
You're fine. You're fine. No big deal.
So, Ms. Remy, how long have you and Mr. Remy been married?
We got married July 9th of 2018. The first separation occurred on or about October.
Hold on. I'm going to work backwards just a little bit before I work forward, okay?
Hey, you're perfect.
How did you live as a couple before you got married?
Yes, we did.
And how long were you together? When did you first get together?
Well, our first date was actually New Year's Eve of becoming 2018, but then we kind of had a gap where we didn't speak, and then we got back together or started actually dating on or around his birthday, which is April 16th of 2018. It was kind of a whirlwind. Yeah.
All right, not a long-term relationship, relatively short-term. Okay,
yeah.
so you've been separated since when?
This time we have been separated since about October. But we had
October of 2020?
October. Yes. We had been kind of trying, we dated or would go away or spend time together within that time too.
All right. As of today, do you believe there's any possibility of the two of you reconciling?
Unfortunately, no.
Can you confirm that there are no minor children who were born or adopted during your marriage to Mr. Remy?
Yes, I can confirm that.
And can you confirm that you are not pregnant?
Yes, I can confirm that.
Okay. So, because we've already talked about it a little bit, I know there's a dispute over a motorcycle. Your contention is the motorcycle deal was settled. It's legitimately yours, and you don't owe him any money for it.
Yes, Your Honor. We were actually together, and we were together for months after this transaction took place. This took place on New Year's Eve of 2019, prior to being 2020, and we were together until mid-March.
So New Year's Eve of 2019, you did
Yes.
the exchange of the title for the cash.
Yes.
So back up before that, there's been mention of a motorcycle accident. When was the motorcycle accident?
The motorcycle accident was August 24th of 2019.
Were either of you injured in that accident?
I was seriously injured, and it was lack of responsibility of driving that caused it, and on his behalf.
Well, that's not what the police report says.
Oh,
Yeah, that's because
Mr.
you
Remy, hold on, Mr. Remy. We've got rules and court proceedings. You can't blurt out. You got to wait your turn.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, was
Yes,
there
sir.
a personal injury lawsuit filed as a result of this?
No, both of the motorcycles were actually insured through me. He was listed as a driver. I was not, my driving record was clear. I was not going to file a suit or file a claim or anything because it would maybe put a blemish on my record. He was adamant, and I have someone who was here who was present when he was throwing a fit that I did not want to file that. So I finally did file it. And yes, we did split the money, but there again, we were together when the check came in both of our names.
Okay, so hold on a minute. What was the amount of the settlement?
$20,000.
And when the settlement was paid, it was paid with a check that had both your names on it?
Yes, it did.
What was the settlement for? Was it for
It was just-
injuries, or was it for, hold on, or was it for damages to the motorcycles?
I think it was listed under both.
Okay.
It seems like it was personal injury. It was $20,000 per incident for personal, property, as well as, I believe personal injury, but he had no injuries.
So were both of the motorcycles destroyed?
No, mine was. The one that the Suzuki Boulevard that's in question is in fact the one that he was riding.
So how did both of the motorcycles become involved in the same accident?
because I was riding toward the shoulder of the road on my motorcycle. He was riding toward the center lane of on his motorcycle, and he decided to turn right in front of me. I tried to go
So
around.
there was a collision between the two motorcycles. Was anyone else involved in this collision?
No, sir.
Okay, that's helpful. Thank you.
Yeah,
All right.
no, it was just him and he
so
turned right,
your,
and I
hold
tried
on,
to go around.
your vehicle, your motorcycle, what kind of motorcycle was that?
It was a V-Star 650 Custom. That I
Any
had
idea
gotten.
what its
I'm sorry.
any idea what its value was?
I'm sorry, I missed that.
Do you know what the value of that motorcycle was?
Well, we paid.
I paid.
We paid because I worked side by side with him to get the money to get that motorcycle, down on my hands and knees, painting a deck and helping him paint a house. That's how I got that motorcycle. We paid, the girl wanted $1,100, but I think we paid $1,000. So Mr. Remy is a little bit.
Okay. Work was done for
Yes.
money, and for this money, you bought a motorcycle, or with this money, you bought a motorcycle.
Yes.
Okay.
And it was right around my birthday.
And it was completely destroyed and not salvageable in this accident.
Yes.
And the vehicle that Mr. Remy was driving is the
Suzuki.
Suzuki, and it was only slightly injured in the collision.
The only thing that happened was because where he was located, I caught the back fender because I was trying to go around him, and he had the whole lane taken up, so I couldn't go around him. So I just caught that back fender up about that far. So that's the only damage was to that motorcycle.
A little damage to the rear fender, otherwise no damage.
Well, the fender, yeah, the fender needed to be replaced, but yes.
Okay. What was the value of that motorcycle?
Well, the man had it listed for $2,800, I believe. I found it on Marketplace, but Mr. Remy made a deal with him to redo his deck, which Mr. Remy had to go to another location. So I went over with the sander and got it all prepped, and I started to do the paint job on that. And he did come in and help finish it up.
So there were two different porch projects, one for your motorcycle and one for his?
We had a painting company, and so the one home that we did for his motorcycle, he in fact had a different motorcycle, but there was a situation with that, so we decided that we would find something that he could just pay off, so that there would be no I don't know what this is, but so
okay.
In fact,
and all of this happened with these two motorcycles while the two of you were married, correct?
yes, sir. And plus, he also has acquired another motorcycle as well. So he has mine, the black Suzuki, and he also has a V-Star. So there's not just one, there's two motorcycles. If he's so worried about the black one, I'll take the purple one because they're both were acquired while we were married.
All right. All right. Well, hold on. Hold on. I think I had a misconception about the motorcycle. So there was some money exchanged. You claim it's the full amount that he had agreed to accept, and he claims you agreed to pay more than that. I understand that dispute.
Mm-hmm.
I also understand that he did sign over the title, and then you in turn have signed that title over to your mother.
Yes, I give that to her and her husband for them helping me out and take care of me. My mother is in the house right now. I did have her come over in case you needed to speak to her.
Does your mother ride motorcycles?
No, her husband does, though.
Oh my God.
And her husband and I
actually
went through.
All right. Hold on.
And stuff together. So yeah.
Hold on. So in any event, after this accident, you had some medical bills?
Did I have medical bills? Oh, they're astronomical.
Who paid those?
When I was in the hospital, they did have us, John and myself, they have helped us out to get Medicaid. I'm assuming they paid for them. I'm not sure. But
You didn't have to pay any of those bills, and nobody's chasing you for them now.
They haven't said anything as of yet, but insurance companies.
How long has it been since the accident?
Well, it's been 2 years.
Yeah, I think if they were going to try to come after you for something, they'd have done it a long time ago.
There again,
in any event,
any
we
mail
already
in
know-
regards to that would go to up there to Grand Ledge, to his home, or to his ex-brother-in-law's home, who they have our previous apartment. I don't get any of my mail from up there,
all
whether
right,
it's
but
from the
you
IRS or
haven't
anything.
you haven't seen any medical bills.
No, they could have came in, but I haven't gotten them.
Okay, and when the settlement was paid by the insurance company, I assume?
Yes, it was by Progressive.
All right, they wrote a check for 20 grand, and the two of you ended up, each of you taking half of that?
Yeah, well, yes, because the check came in both our names. We had made a previous agreement that we would pay X amount of bills with the money and then do whatever. I paid the bills that I said I was going to. He said he was going to pay a couple months of rent to get us ahead. Well, he decided not to. He decided to just make it rain with his money and wanted me to use all my money, because if I use all my money, then I'm relying on him. And that's what he likes, is relying.
So while you were married, the two of you maintained separate bank accounts?
No, we never I don't have a bank account, and I would not get on a bank account with him.
You don't have one at all. Never.
Hold on, Mr. Remy, you can't
Sorry.
blurt out.
She's just lying through her teeth, man, this whole time. I'll shut up. Done deal.
I think that's a good idea. So, Ms. Remy, you don't maintain a bank account. I think you told me.
Yes, I did tell you that. No, I do not. If they have prepaid
See,
debit
no,
cards.
I think he might have misheard you. I heard you say that you did not have a joint account and you don't have a personal account.
No,
so
I do not.
When you would have money, you just kept it in cash form?
Or if I needed to pay bills, I would either put it in his account and take care of the bills, or I would get a prepaid debit card and pay for them. And then we know that there's no issues with, somebody hacking your account or whatever.
Gotcha. So some bills did get paid. He has a bank account, and some bills did get paid with his bank account.
No, actually, I believe that I put that money. I did actually, in fact, put that on a prepaid debit card so that I could take care of
Oh
those.
my God, are you serious?
Okay. All right,
You're serious
Mr.
right
Remy,
now?
Mr. Remy, I'm going to mute you. When it's time for you to talk, I will unmute you.
That's perfect.
You just can't. That'll give you a chance to say whatever you want, and I won't hear it. How's that? Okay. So one of the things that was mentioned earlier, Ms. Remy, is apparently wherever it was the two of you were living, there was a rent obligation there.
Yes.
Who paid the rent?
Well, I would work side by side with him. So I didn't go to every job, but I did go work very hard side by side with him. When we initially got together, I was going through the appeal up process for disability because I had lower lumbar fusion and I had a spinal stimulator put in at that time, or when we were together. So no, I didn't hold a job. But I did go work with him very often.
I see.
I mean,
so you would go and help him on painting jobs, and he would. But when the customer paid for the painting job, they always paid him. They didn't pay you something in addition to that.
Correct. We actually,
Right.
if you're familiar with Lansing, we painted Full Throttle Motorsports. We did a really good job. So, but it was him and I and two helpers that painted that.
All right. So this was a business that Mr. Remy operated?
Yes. Yes, he did. Yeah. And I
So-
did, like
so
I said, I
during the-
did.
During the period you were married, then the only contribution you made to the household income was assisting him in doing these jobs for his business.
Yeah, I maintained the full entire household. All he had to do was leave and come back home and everything was done. I maintained the,
No, ma'am. I'm not in
Yeah.
any way suggesting
oh, I know,
that you didn't
Right.
contribute in other ways. I was simply talking about finance ways.
I did do
So-
some hair, I would do some of my friends' hair or, something like that to get money.
All
as
right,
well.
but that was pretty
But more
much small
lucrative,
change.
Yes. But more lucrative,
Okay.
yes, John, he did take care of us financially very well. I've never taken that away from him.
Okay. So I want to get the details, your version of the motorcycle. If I understand correctly, your understanding of the deal was you were going to pay, he agreed to accept $300 payment in full. And on that basis, he signed over, and you deny that you had any agreement to pay him anything in addition to that. Is that fair?
Yes, that is fair to say. Yeah, that's fair to say. The only thing that he's worried about is the money, Your Honor. That's it. Because I sent you actually a text message. I've sent you a couple text messages that he had sent to me where he refers to me giving him $300. And if we were going to work our relationship out, but we were together for months after that. And where he tells me to come get my property.
All right. I don't know where you sent those text messages.
Oh yeah, I emailed them and I asked the lady to put them in my file.
All right. Who do you remember? Who did you email them to?
The clerk.
Was it Dawn Sherwood?
I think it was just the clerk, and I said, can you put these in my file? I could send them to you right now. I have thousands of text messages from this man, threatening me, threatening my family, threatening my friends.
These are things that you can email?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I did, like I
And
said, if hopefully I won't drop you. Let me see if I can go and check and see where I did, oh crap, where I did email it. I was trying to send you a few more text messages in regards to the motorcycle and the working situation.
All right, well, you can keep sending. Let's talk about the stuff you've already sent me.
Okay.
So the first thing I see is a IRS statement showing that's addressed to you.
Yes, that's in regards to the 2020 return that I filed this year, where they had taken the $519.61 for the self-employment tax for, I believe it was the 2018 or 19 year.
This was for $511.99, and you're saying this obligation relates to Mr. Remy's business.
Yes, there should be a copy of the letter and all. I believe I sent a copy of the letter that was addressed to him as well. We both got a copy of that letter.
Hold on. Let me see if I can find that.
Okay.
All right, I see a letter to Mr. Remy for the same amount.
Yes, that was for the self-employment tax.
Okay, so were you both independently billed $511.99, or were you both billed for the same number?
It's the billed for the same number. It's just that I filed my taxes already, so they took all that out of my taxes, and we're not. He should. I'm just asking for him to pay us half of that. Is all.
right, let me write that down.
It actually came out to be $519.61 because you know the IRS has always got to put a little bit tax and interest or whatever they do on it.
Well, this letter shows penalty and interest.
Yeah, that letter's from I can't remember the date. Let me grab my file right here. The date of that letter. It was last year. The date of that letter is, excuse me, it was from the beginning of this year. That was back in January 2021. And it does say, that.
So there's been more interest since then.
Yeah, there was like $8.
All right, well, hold on a minute because I'm not finding that.
Yeah, I don't have the letter about that. I'm not worried about the $8 difference, to be honest with you. It's fine. I just want him to pay us half of what was taken from me.
Oh, I see. I can figure it out. Your tax return shows that
offset.
you were expecting a refund of $787.
Yes.
The refund status communication from the IRS says you're only going to get $267.39. So the difference is what they withheld for that obligation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna do the math.
Okay.
Looks like $519.61. Does that sound right?
Yes, that's what I came up with as well. And
okay,
then I just
so I understand. I understand that. Your position is he should have to refund you for half of that.
Yes, I don't have a problem paying my half. I just want him to pay his half.
Okay. All right. So I understand that. There's also, I see, an Xfinity bill.
Yes.
That you've been billed.
Yes.
Looks like $786.78. First of all, what is this bill for?
Okay, that's for Comcast internet and cable. The last payment on that actual account was made on 3/14/20, which was 2 days before I left. Well, I got thrown out the last time, which that payment was $156. So he kept that going until, I believe it was that bill that for that amount that was in June, I believe June 12th. The services were $326.78 were the service amounts that he acquired after I left and did not pay them in my name. And then the equipment was $460. Now he did return the equipment, but he gave it to me on June 9th. I tried to return it. They said I was already billed for that. So I have to pay it. He withheld the equipment until he so choose, excuse me, to give it to me. He did that same thing.
So they won't take this equipment back, and it's not of any value to you.
Correct. And he withheld it, or I would have returned it. And I even had multiple conversations with Comcast because we actually already went through divorce last year. But I was dumb and went back because I followed my heart. So I told Comcast at that time that we were going through a divorce, that my husband was actually, that's his bill. He didn't pay me, and it was in my name. That's all. So that's where the extra $460 comes into play.
All right. So what I'm trying to figure out of this bill for $786.78, how much are you seeking from Mr. Remy?
Oh, I would like it all because I paid the bill 2 days before him and I separated.
I see. So the Xfinity account was current at the time you two separated.
Yes.
So everything billed afterwards, when he's the sole beneficiary of the service, you believe he should have to pay?
Yes. He has a trust.
I understand your claim there. Next, there's an invoice from Granger. What is this
Yes,
for?
that, when we moved into the new apartment, I got the garbage in my name. There again, he kept the garbage going and didn't pay it, and then I got an email from him saying that I owed him $154 because he didn't pay it after I left.
And again, this is for charges that were all incurred after you moved out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
$154.10. Okay. And this garbage service was for what residence?
Grand Manor Drive.
All right. And when you lived together, that was your marital home?
Yes.
Right.
We
Is
had
this
just
an
moved into
apartment?
there. We had just moved in there in October of 2019
Okay. And so why was the garbage service in your name?
because I called and I didn't have to pay a deposit.
Okay.
So we did. That's why we did Comcast in my name.
All right. In any event, tell me how, when you separated, he stayed in this house and you left?
Yes, Your Honor. He's still there.
All right. And I thought I heard you say something earlier about getting kicked out. Tell me about that.
Oh, I got kicked out every other day. If he did, if I didn't-
Kicked out meaning he said, get out. I don't want you here anymore.
oh yeah, that's a nice way of putting it.
All right.
If I,
And when
if
you
didn't get, if he
when
didn't
you
get his way,
finally did move out, it was because he told you out to get out.
yes,
Yes?
yes,
All
sir.
right. All right. So you believe he should be responsible for all of the Granger garbage bill?
Yes.
Okay. Now hold on. All right, and I got a couple text messages. Hold on a minute.
I believe I sent them one.
It's not, hold on. It's not
Okay.
complete. It starts out with, looks like it's a little cut off at the top of the page. Never sold you that bike for 300 F dollars.
Yeah.
I wanted at least 15. Told you then if we were going to work out our S I'm good with that. But if we're going our separate ways, I'm not giving you a $3,000 bike for $300. So I'm taking, that's a text message that he sent to you. Was this after
Yes.
you had moved out the last time?
Yes. This
Okay.
was I'm not sure the exact date. I'm trying. It was around the time because I did not tell him that I gave that motorcycle to my mother. It was none of his business and my concern. You know, he.
All right.
And
All right.
around
Well,
that time that he found out. Yeah.
And then the second text message, again, the first line, or maybe more than the first line, is cut off. But the part that I got says bike. That's all you cared about anyway. That's why you put it in someone else's name. Hurry up and get your bike so you can get your possessions. Then you'll be complete. Then you won't need me anymore. Goodbye. And that's a text message from him.
Yeah, that's, I mean, obviously he stated that I hurried and put it in my mother's name, which is not true. So therefore, I mean, that's one where he's like, come get your, I mean, you know, he's stating that supposedly that's what he thought I did because that's what he does. He keeps things, hides things in other people's names.
All right. Well, this tells me what his position is. I never sold you that bike for 300. I always wanted at least 15.
Right. But where's the 250 come into play that he keeps referring to? That's not even ever been mentioned, $250. But in his reply, in his answer to my complaint for divorce, he says that I stole the title of Fit of Rage, that I never gave him anything.
All right.
But then
All right.
in the pretrial, he told you that he did give me the signed title. So he's lying about all that.
Okay. So, you believe the bike transaction is complete. You don't owe him any more for the bike.
Correct, Your Honor. I'm not asking
right,
for
and
anything
if-
that's not mine. I mean, he sold, he just.
Have we
recently sold a car.
covered everything then that you're seeking in a judgment of divorce?
I want my name back to my maiden name, which was Pruden, Pruden. And I do not want no spousal support from that man. I want nothing to do with him.
Okay. All right, Mr. Remy, you can unmute now. And what
Can
I
I mute?
want from you, I'm sorry, what, Ms. Remy?
Could you mute me, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
For just a second, because he's going to want to ask you some questions maybe. And obviously you're going to have to unmute for that. And so, Mr. Remy, I know a lot of people get confused about this, so let me explain the ground rules again. The first thing that I want to hear from you is not your version of what happened. We'll get to that. Rather, I simply want to know whether you have any questions that you'd like me to ask Ms. Remy that I didn't already cover, that things that you want to bring out through her. All right, you're muted, so I can't hear you. You got to unmute your device.
Okay, yeah. So no, I don't, because she's just gonna lie about anything, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So I have no
Fair
question.
enough. Fair enough. So now it's your turn to testify. So I'm going to put you under oath, and then I'll hear what you have to say about all of this. Sir, could you raise your right hand, please?
Yep.
You do swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You can put your hand down. I see you're on a painting job today.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm painting this house right here. I work for TL Hart. I just took a regular job by the hour.
Okay. I'm sorry. When you raised your hand, I saw paint on your hand. I had to comment. I couldn't let it go.
I'm covered, man. I'm covered.
All right. Could you state your full name for the record, please?
Yes, John Paul Remy.
And so, Mr. Remy, so I want to ask you about each of these things in order, but I will give you a chance to tell whatever additional things you want to tell me. I want to do this in order simply so I make sure I've remembered to ask you the questions.
Okay.
We'll work backwards. So the garbage bill, do you object to taking care of the garbage bill that she says was all for services after she moved out?
No, because she shut everything off. Like within a day or two of her being gone, everything was completely shut off. My insurance, everything that you can think of. I had to get things in my name, some things. But no, so she shut everything off. She damn sure wasn't leaving nothing on and leaving that I know of. I mean, I'm not good with dates and exact times, so I'm just saying.
All right.
And one more thing, can I add? Okay, go ahead.
Well, let's just talk about the garbage bill. The invoice that she presented is dated April 30th, but it looks like this is all for prior bills. It doesn't show for what time period these were incurred. So at some point prior to April 30th, service must have been cut off, but this doesn't tell me when services were cut off. And let's see, she told me, well, it's not clear. That she's been out since October of 2020. Do you agree with that?
I don't have the exact date with me right now.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but what I did was, Your Honor, I went home and figured out dates and times and rough estimate of everything, and I got the end result of that. And I don't have all that paperwork. I just wrote down the main things I needed to know today, and I'm just.
All right. All I can tell from this invoice is that there were charges of $154.10 that were incurred at some time prior to April 30th, but it really doesn't tell me when the charges were incurred. But your testimony is the day she moved out, she contacted all of the service providers and requested that they terminate service?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I'm not 100% on every single thing, but yes, it was. I remember being in a parking lot, like in tears, trying to get everything back on that was off. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, soon as she left, everything got shut off. Pretty much everything. So, and I damn sure wasn't watching no cable. So cable was her thing. Comcast.
All right. Well, let's talk about the cable bill then. Let me get it. Hold on.
Yeah. So real briefly on the cable bill. Sorry.
Yeah, hold on. Let me ask the question, and you can insert any additional information. This bill is dated June 12th of 2020, which would have been well after she moved out.
Yeah, I have no idea, but I honest to God, I probably can prove it too. But she definitely shut that off. There was no way I was watching TV on her note. So if it was on, she blocked my TVs. She's got the codes and passwords for everything. All my Netflix shut off and everything, Prime Video, anything and everything you can think of. Like I had no TV for days after she left. So I don't know how she did it if the account was still open, but I don't watch cable. I never wanted it. I didn't want it ever. She begged and said she had to have it. So I got it for her. And like the day she left, I definitely wasn't paying any more cable bills. So, and I got it transferred into my name. I have my own Xfinity
All right.
account.
Well, in any event, this bill does not show me when those charges were incurred. It just simply says there was a previous balance of $326.78.
And that's the problem right there, what you just said. Because I'd give her money to pay the bills. I'd give her my debit card to pay the bills and or leave out, or, the cash, or she'd go in our safe and take the cash. And, and the bills weren't getting paid. The problem why I always told her to get out was because she was on drugs, spending all our money. Jackson's the top drug. That's Jackson. That's all we thought about is her going to Jackson. We live in Grand Ledge. She would go there and spend hundreds of dollars and not pay anything. She doesn't work. She worked with me on that Full Throttle job for 3 to 4 days at best. And that's the only time she's ever worked with me. Maybe one more day to help me clean up a job or something, but she doesn't work. So we agreed. We split up over that. She wasn't joking. She wasn't working. So her job was to keep the house clean. So, and she did a great job on that. Like it was immaculate 24/7. I'll give her that. But she didn't work. She sat home all day long. And then when I would get up to take a pee, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock, her and her cousin would be wired out of their galls, speeding, cleaning the countertops, like wired out of their faces on drugs. And I had to do it. And look at the other 2 divorces, what they said. Everyone is the same. I can't deal with her drug opiate addiction or heroin. I mean, they prescribe her Suboxone strips. That's what they give people coming off of heroin. I mean, she just sunk me.
All right, okay, now, Mr. Remy, all right, I get that, but you understand that this is basically no-fault divorce.
Yeah, I get it. Sorry, man. I'm just telling you something.
I don't need to hear. It doesn't make any difference. But back on the Xfinity bill, there is one charge on this that she explained was for equipment that was not returned. And the only reason she couldn't return it in time is because you didn't get it to her in time.
Okay, let me respond to that. I tried to get her to come get her crap since the day she moved out. So she would come get, she took almost everything she had the first shop, but left all the other stuff like the equipment behind. So I didn't wait 1 minute, Your Honor. I packed up her Xfinity crap days after, within 3 days after she was gone. And I have a witness. Sherry's the one that took it to her, our club road captain. And she took it to her and we dropped it off all on her front lawn right away. I didn't want no remembrance of her in this house because she sunk me financially to the death. So she hurt me. And so, yeah, I didn't hold any of her stuff. Nothing.
Okay, I hear you.
I dumped it off on her front lawn.
With respect to the tax obligation that she got socked with, do you acknowledge that that was for your business?
I'm not 100. I don't really know much about that. I have a tax guy and I'm not even sure. I'm not sure. I mean, so if it's for my business on something, then yeah, I guess it's my responsibility if it is. But I don't know. But like, you know, she hasn't filed taxes in a million years, except for just recently. So I don't know because she's filing unemployment now and she doesn't even work. It hasn't in years, as many years as you can count. She hasn't worked. So I don't know how she's even filing her taxes. It must be fraudulent. So I just don't know. So, but if it's my business, when, you know, had my own business, fine, then I'll take it if it's my responsibility. I don't know without seeing it. I don't even know what she's talking about.
All right, so let's talk about the motorcycle. That seems to be the biggest item that's in dispute.
Sure is.
So the Suzuki motorcycle, you in fact still have possession of that, correct?
I sure do.
All right.
And the text
you believe?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Your Honor.
You believe the value of that motorcycle to be around $3,000?
At this point, no. It needs a fender and all the handlebar stuff. We had to put handlebars on it. So I got it. I put handlebars on it again. It just needs some more stuff and it needs a fender. But other than that, I guess technically it's probably worth, like, to be perfectly honest, it's probably worth like $2,000 the way it sits right now after the accident. But it also has a bunch of custom stuff done to it, so it ups the value in it. Just a few things.
Is it drivable in its current condition?
No.
So you're not driving it?
No.
And you can't even get it registered because you don't have the title anymore.
Yep, sure can't. I was going to take her to small claims court, but she filed divorce on me again. I got a text that I'm going to send you or your courthouse as soon as I get home. I don't have it here. It's on my old phone. And I'm going to have it printed off. It's from her best friend in the whole world. You know what it says? It's Chrissy saying, "Hey, Lisa, I'm just letting you know that I'm just with this mother effort just to get everything I can off his ass, and then I'm leaving. That's my plan. But I got stuff to get first, and I can show you that text." And she admitted that to me on the phone. So she's been trying to use me to get every single drop she can out of me till there is nothing left. That's her goal.
Okay, so all right. Well, I'm not done with the motorcycle though. So what you would like me to do with the motorcycle is one of two things. Either have her pay the balance that you said she agreed to pay for it, or alternatively, give you back the title so that you can do something with it.
I mean, yeah, that's the goal. Yeah. I mean, I want my bike back. Like I said, Your Honor, that text that she showed you was somewhat true. Okay. Because if we were going to stay married, I told her straight out. I said, "Listen, I'm not playing games. I'll tell you straight out. If we're going to stay together, then fine. But if, you know, I mean, after seeing this text about your friend, what you said to her, I know you're just using me. Oh no, I love you. She played my feelings like a master. And and if we would have stayed together, I told her that, I told her in advance. It's not like I just changed my mind the last minute. I told her straight away. And I wanted 1,500. Weeks went by. She wouldn't pay the rent. It was like she never paid any bills ever. I'd love to see proof that she paid any bills, because she didn't. She didn't work. How would she pay a bill? Tell me that. Did you go get a prepaid card? Wow, that's convenient. I doubt it.
Okay, so if she were to pay you, so far she's paid you $300 towards this Suzuki?
Yeah, I was almost 1,010,000% sure it was 250, but she argued the fact that it was 300, so I went with it.
All right, so you believe if she wants the bike, she's got to cough up $1,200.
Yeah, and then yeah, with the bike, yeah. Yep.
All right. Any other issues that you want to address with respect to property or debts?
Yes, there is.
Go ahead.
The day we split up, I just went and bought, when she was going to get back with me, like so many times I can't even count. Like out of 3 years that we've been together, we only been together a year and a half. Okay, maybe a few months dating, sure, whatever. But anyway, the day she left, she was breaking everything in our house. I just spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars on all new knickknacks for around the house, stuff to hang on the walls, really nice stuff, and spared no expense. And, to repaint everything, redecorate everything for a fresh start. So when she left, she sat there breaking one thing after the next till everything was destroyed in the house. But that's nothing. I can live with that. But then she took one of the things and threw it right at the glass stove and exploded it. So she destroyed, and I rent. And that's my landlord's. That's why he banned her from the property. She's not allowed on the property, which she came back and stole all kinds of lawn ornaments. But I don't care. But I need that stove paid for. I can't. She knows this too. She knows this. I have a text at home.
The oven's got a glass door. She threw something at it and broke the glass door.
Yes, sir. She completely exploded it out. Left the house like it just got robbed.
So that oven currently isn't usable. Plus, before you move, you're going to have to either replace it or repair it because it belongs to the landlord.
Yes, it sure does, and I have to pay for that, and he already knows about it. So I had to tell him that it was broke.
Do you have an idea of the cost?
$500, around $500 for that.
You can't just replace the door. You got to replace the whole oven.
I tried already. No one's going to take a door off and sell it to me. I tried. I looked online. There was no way. I couldn't find one.
Okay. Anything else?
Oh, yeah. After we split up, like right from the rip, every time we've split up, this last time, the time before, and the time before that, I gave her all the money I can, because she wouldn't just split up with me and tell me she didn't want to be with me no more. She wouldn't do that because she had to use me. So with that being said, I would give her money. I would fill up the car with groceries, hundreds of dollars, whatever it took, drop all the food off at her house, give her cash. I gave her cash every single week. She likes going to the casino, and she wouldn't date me or go out with me to a restaurant because we had the dog. She wouldn't go to a movie or anything with me at all unless it was a casino, and I'd have to give her a couple $100 every time we went. But you know what? I'm not going to get that back. So, but the money, then I lent her money, and she swore to God she'd pay me back. And I'd give her money every week to hold her over. Now she gets unemployment, which she never works. So that's fraudulent. I know that's right. So, but I gave her money up to almost $800 that I'll probably never see. But I mean, I'd like to get some of the money back that I gave her when she ran off, because the only time I ever told her this ain't gonna work out is when I came home and she spent all our money. Like, and she doesn't go out and cut hair, and she damn sure didn't paint with me. She did for a few days when I first met her, and that was it. Then it was like hell. She let me know straight away. Listen, I can't do this. I have major medical issues. That's why I'm on Suboxone strips. I can't be on. I can't do. And I wanted her to work with me because it would have been like a perfect team. We could have saved a bunch of money, but nope, she wouldn't do it. And it come down to a fight. So I accepted the fact that she's not going to work and she's just going to sit home. But she does keep the house spotless clean, like it'll be like immaculate, nothing out of place. But that's all she did. She never paid any bills. She lied to you about that. She never earned money and paid anything. Every dollar that showed up in that house was from me busting my ass painting every day. I'm 51 years old and I work like a dog my whole life. And I'm being honest with you, man. She didn't work. So
Okay. Ms. Remy, are there any questions you would like me to ask Mr. Remy? You got to unmute here.
If I'm the one that's on drugs, why did he just call me 2 weeks ago? And I do have 2 witnesses that were here when he tried to get me to admit, because he wanted me to come do cocaine with him. I don't do drugs, Your Honor. And when I
hold on a minute.
Here we go.
Hold on.
Okay.
This is your chance to ask questions, not to testify. You will get one more chance to testify to address some of the things he raised that weren't raised before. So I think the question is, Mr. Remy, did you call her 2 weeks ago and ask her to come and do cocaine with you?
Hell no. I was just trying to get her to admit that she does drugs.
And
so I could use it against her in court.
Okay.
I don't use drugs, Your Honor.
Yes, you do.
I got it.
I have a question.
Hold on. You cannot banter back and forth. You got to wait your turn. So, Ms. Remy, do you have another question for Mr. Remy?
Okay, I do have a question. So Mr. Remy just recently sold a 2014 Ford Escape. According to online, it says that he sold it for $3,500. He wants to nitpick money. Well, half of that is mine, but I just want what is mine. So why does he feel that he's entitled to anything that I already purchased from him when he's keeping money? Why does he feel that he's entitled to anything that I already purchased from him? The only thing he's worried about is money.
Well, you're testifying. This is question time. So the question.
No, I was going to ask.
Hold on.
I was going to ask. Okay.
I think I got a question here. Let me put it to Mr. Remy. So, Mr. Remy, she said you recently sold a 2014 Ford Escape for $3,500. First of all,
no, I did not sell it for no $3,500. The motor was smoking when I got it. I bought it from Bud's Towing. When the day my car flipped over and rolled on the highway, I had an HHR. That was the only vehicle I have. And it rolled on the highway. So I went to Bud's Towing in Marshall, and they towed my car to their mechanic shop, which is Bud's mechanic shop. And from the owner there, I bought the Ford Escape for $1,300 off him because he ripped my car, had a bunch of damage, but it was mostly destroyed from them ripping it out. They ripped the wheel off and all kinds of damage, and I could have fixed everything else. It only rolled once, and it had a little dent on top. But, I mean, and so they screwed it up. So they gave me that Ford Escape. So it's the only vehicle I have. I'm entitled to a vehicle.
Okay.
He has one.
Hold on. So when did you acquire this Ford Escape?
After my car totaled.
Yeah, but how does that relate to when the two of you separated?
I believe it was the beginning of.
Let him testify, ma'am. You'll get a chance. It's his turn right now. Do you remember?
Remember what?
Did you acquire this Ford Escape while the two of you were together?
Technically, yes, but it was the only vehicle I had. My other one totaled. So
Okay, I'm not.
I'm not giving her half of the only vehicle. She
I'm
acquired
not.
her vehicle when we were together too. I should get half of
All
that
right,
then.
No, I don't
hold
know.
I
on.
mean, this is
I
ridiculous, man.
want to. I want to get. Just answer my questions. It would be very helpful.
All right.
So you got the Ford Escape with money that, at least in part, that you realized from your wrecked vehicle?
Yeah, I sold it. They came out and bought it right on the spot because it was destroyed. I think I got like $400 for it, and the rest I put in with what I had saved, and I got a vehicle. So now I have a vehicle again.
All right, so you got $400 for the wrecked vehicle. You put another 900 with it, and you bought this Ford Escape.
Yes, but the thing is, when I bought it and you started it up, it would smoke a little bit. And you can call there and verify all this. They told me that they just changed the turbo booster on there, so it may smoke a little bit when you start it, but it'll go away after just a few weeks or so. So it's been months, and now the smoking is really bad. So I panicked and I sold it. So I sold it and I bought the vehicle I have now, which is a white Lucerne.
Your Honor, can I just say something real quick? I don't want the money from it. I'm just trying to prove
Why are
that
we wasting our time with the little?
I don't want
All
the
right,
money
well,
for
hold
that.
on then. Hold on. Then I don't have to ask any more about it. That makes it easy. Thank you.
I'm just trying to show him that, I'm not asking for nothing that's not mine. I'm not trying to steal nothing from him. I could go after this, but I'm not trying to soak him or sink him. I
Kristen,
never
you're
have.
not
All I
taking my
did was
bike.
took him back. You're not getting that bike.
Hold
That's
on.
mine from him.
It's my bike.
Then I want the purple one.
Pay for the bike like we agreed, Chrissy, or go get a
I
job and
did.
earn one.
Hold,
You know
come
what?
on, folks.
Don't-
You got to stop
don't work
it.
and
You
pay
got to
my
stop.
unemployment.
You got to stop. Hold on. I'm going to do some calculating here.
This man just lies constantly and threatens me.
Right, you work full time. Yeah,
You know what? No, I don't. But I did with you.
you clean the house.
working
You didn't
full-time,
work with
claiming
me.
unemployment.
That's
You're the
so
one claiming
sorry of you to
unemployment.
lie like that. Call me a liar. You're
Whatever.
ashamed
I
of
got
yourself
so many
right now.
texts. Okay, Your Honor, I'm going to send.
All right. I muted both of you because I'm not going to tolerate you talking back and forth to each other. Give me a moment. I'm trying to do some calculations here. Okay, I did unmute you, but I don't want you talking. I want to make sure you hear what I have to say. I do find that there's been a breakdown in your marriage to the extent that the objects of matrimony have been destroyed. There remains no reasonable likelihood that your marriage can be preserved. I'm going to grant a judgment of divorce. I'm going to restore to Ms. Remy her maiden name of Pruden. With respect to the claims for property in debt, because it is not clear from any of the documentation that's been provided to me as to when these obligations were occurred, whether they were post-separation or pre, I'm simply going to treat them all as marital debt. Because they're marital debt, you're each responsible for half. I do find that the agreement was that Mr. Remy would turn over the vehicle for $300 if the two of you remained a couple, but otherwise the price was $1,500. You paid $300. You still owe him $1,200 if you want that. However, because he's responsible for half of these three debts, which is half of the tax liability, half of $519.61. I just said $260, which is close enough. Half of the Xfinity bill, which is $393. Half of the Granger bill, which is $77. That means Mr. Remy owes you, because you're the one that's being chased for these debts, $720. So I subtract $720 from the $1,200 that you still owe him for the motorcycle. If you want this motorcycle, you have to pay him $480 and he will deliver the motorcycle to you. And you will be responsible for all these other bills.
Your Honor.
I realize neither one of you want this outcome, but I think it's the only fair outcome under the circumstances. And that's what I'm going to order.
Can I just say this, as far as regards to those bills, we separated in March of 2020. We got back together. And yes, the last time in October, I did shut him off because I learned my lesson the first time. All he does is screw me over. He's the biggest liar. I can't.
All right, ma'am, I've already made my ruling. I'm going to put it in a written ruling. I don't want to hear complaints about you're not happy with the ruling. That's my ruling. I will send out a judgment of divorce.
I can't believe you did this. I've never met such a malicious, abusive person. The mental.
So, that was fun. Oh my goodness.
So that video was a throwback from a couple years ago, but I thought you guys would enjoy watching that. Those two are probably the worst people to be together. They're both toxic together, so. Or maybe they deserve each other. I don't know. I wonder if they got back together. I wonder. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.